Welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can do some of the mega inserts using the Oracle style of multiple inserts in a single command. And as you can see right here, I'm inside my SQL developer because that's where we're doing all of our Oracle-based demonstrations. I've got a couple different demos we're going to use so we can actually see the structure of this and talk about what's going to happen to do that multi-level insert using Oracle's multiple insert structure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one right here. And so we have insert into the cells table, and then I have inset a parens. I have the parameters I'm working with, the cells ID, the export ID, and cells date. Those are the values that cannot be null, the ones that must be inside there, because again, when we're working with an insert command, we have to explicitly assign values into all the non-nullable fields. And then I have the with demo as. And so with this with demo as, what I'm doing right here is I'm going to be specifying a constructed or derived table. I'm going to build that table using the information below to insert values into it. And then as you can see, I've got the use of parens because that's how you identify that you're working with a derived or created table inside SQL. And Oracle does it a little bit differently. When you're putting together a combination of values, you're going to put together a whole bunch of select queries with a from dual and then union all with the surrounding values you're working with. So you can do it as a single insert statement, but do it as a huge combined group of values. And so as you can see right here, I've selected 99, 3, 2 date, giving it a date value. I've got another date value right here for each of those different values. And that's going to be assigned in from 99 will be the cells ID, the export ID is 3, and the cells date are the date values that are created with those values listed right there. And then for each of those things, I'm doing from dual, union all, from dual, union all, from dual, union all. And then the last one is just from dual because there's nothing to union it to because, again, you can't really union to nothing. So, yeah, I know. And then my last plot right here is select everything from demo. And so I have this lovely creation of demo right here. I'm then going to select everything from that and then insert into this that cell's value. So let's go ahead and let's run this really quick as one query. So select the code right here, hit the play button to make that happen, and it inserts 4 rows at once. And so this is a little bit different than what you've done, perhaps if you've worked with the MySQL or MariaDB style database, where it simply just has the regular same structure as a single level insert, but just another comma separating the next group of values. Oracle requires a different structure when you're working with that, so just something to keep in mind when you're working with an Oracle database. Let's do this another example right here. So insert into zip code, and this is using that student data that we've been working with. And so we have insert into zip code, and again, I split this out row by row like we've done before. And so that's giving into the values all separated each value by row. And then I've got mega insert as, and then I've got one example splitting up as a regular select query where I have it set. So I'm just going to grab that one value right there, and then boom, I'm going to select that Sandy from dual. It gives me that select response right here, and then it builds all that right here. And so if I take just this blurb right here, and I just grab that one query right here, and I run that as a query, boom. As you can see, I have all those values right here, those 6 values for Sandy, Ute, 8407, we see state +1. I've done all that information right there, so I've grabbed all that value, and that just grabbed all that for me as a single tabular response. That's what I'm putting together inside that. So we just go ahead and wipe that out really fast and squish this back down. But it just allows me to grab all those values from that, creates a table that I can work with and go from there. And then once I grab that, I'll select everything from that table because I just created that whole entire table, and I'm going to insert them into the appropriate values. Each column matches the column specified in the insert statement part of the clause. And I just go through and grab that whole thing right there. So I'll insert into zip code, and I'll grab that whole sequence of values this time, right? Not just ending right there. And of course, ending with our great friend, the semicolon. I hit play, and I have a unique constraint violated. Oh dear, one of my database values is already in there. Oh no, I don't remember which one I put in there already, but yeah, that's okay. Oh, 8402 was in there twice. Ah, silly Cody. So we'll have that 84125. There we go. Silly Cody. And we'll run that back through one more time. Shift click back up to here. Insert values, and boom, 6 rows inserted. And so I was able to insert all those values in there. It doesn't matter if I specify them all like this, doing the regular approach that I would do for a regular select query, or how I do it like this, because I'm doing just inserts. I just put it all in a single row to make it a little bit easier to type. Generally, you're not going to be putting in a whole bunch of values all at once, but if you are putting a whole bunch of values all at once, this is the way to do it, because it makes it so you can collapse those values all at once and structure them together. And you can make sure, one of the things you can do to make sure it works nicely is you can just grab the values right here that or line up as a type. You can just use spaces because spaces don't matter. And so I can just go ahead and hit spaces like that to line all those values up. And I can make it really easy to make sure I have all the right values matching right there. So I've got all my sysdates lined up, makes it really easy to keep track of that. And then I could also, even with the lovely from dual union all, making sure those are all matched up. So I just space that out so they all match up right there. Space, space, space. And now I have that from dual union all, yeah, that nice little vertical alignment matching up really nicely. It's a great way you can make sure that all those pieces go together the way they're supposed to. And so you have all the correct values and stuff you're working with on there. So again, when you're working with the idea of a multi-insert inside Oracle land, you start off with a standard insert into, you give the tabling just like always, you give the same parameterized columns you're going to be working with. The big difference is when you're working with a insert many statement in Oracle land, you do the with demo as or the with table name as, where you're going to specify the table you're working with for that creation. You then create a derived table by using a bunch of select queries joined together with a union all statement for each one. And of course, the last one doesn't have a union all attached because it's just going to grab from there. And because you're creating the data here on the fly, they're all from dual. And then you select everything from that new derived table you just created. It grabs that whole table and inserts it all at once. I hope that's a quick way you can use to have using the mega insert. Hope this is helpful for you. Cheers and have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.